Another dream time. Okay, so I don't really remember how it started, but you guys know those like old-timey towns where there's like kind of like old westerns and there's like a whole strip of like wooden buildings and there's like that wooden platform and they all just kind of like go in and out. Those of you that are from Reno, I kind of attribute to like Virginia City. That's what it started, or the where it started, I guess. What's the word I'm looking for? Where it took place. So I was with a group of people and we were just like going in and out of the shops and like bar hopping and whatever and just hanging out. And we run into this gang and they start trying to like size up. And I'm just like standing in the back and I'm like, I don't even want to deal with this. Oh, and I'm in long sleeves and pants and everyone else is in shorts and t-shirts, which is relevant here in a minute. But so this gang's like trying to size up, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? Like this is our walkway. Like, why are you here? Blah blah blah." And I guess they wanted to size up through tattoos, and so like everyone was showing off their tattoos or whatever. And even though like I'm in a long sleeve and pants, obviously you can see my neck tattoo. I don't remember if I'm bald and you can see my head tattoo or not, but anyways. So they come up to me and they're like, show me the rest of your tattoos. And so I like take off my jacket. You can see my arm tattoos. And they're like, well, show me your leg tattoos. And I'm like, this is a little excessive. Like, I already have more tattoos than you. Can we just like not do this? And so and then I guess I get super irritated and I punch him in the face. And of course, the guy I'm talking to is like the main gang guy or whatever. So then it starts this whole fight. And I guess, like the town or whatever just starts like flooding with people. So there's now like a ton of people and we can't even, like, no one can even reach each other, like just a big crowd. And I guess there were also these like human traffickers that were like picking people out of the crowd and they were taking them and basically taking them to like a Hunger Games type thing. So these human traffickers were stealing people to fight in these Hunger Games and same thing, fight to the death. And so of course I get picked because that's how dreams work. And they take me in and like it starts out like you know those like holding rooms or whatever that you see in movies. And so we're all in like this holding room and we all have to like go up to the front desk and like sign in, which is honestly super weird now that I say it. But so we're all like signing in and they give us, you know, like crazy outfits or whatever. And then I guess it turns into like everyone has a power and then everyone has like a little sidekick that also has a power. And that's like they throw you into the arena and that's how you fight. And the arena is like super, you know, when your dreams are just like super detailed. And it kind of had the look of like that one Avatar movie where they go to the other planets and everything's like bioluminescent and like blue and glowing and stuff. It's super cool. And so it kind of had the same look of that where it's just like weird and psychedelic, honestly. And it was a bunch of landscapes. So there was like marshland and there was like forests and then there was like a bunch of desert and oceans and stuff. And it was just like huge and crazy. And I vaguely remember something of like we were all training with our little like sidekick people, but I don't really remember much of that. But then we all get dropped into the arena, and I guess they're like obviously same situation. You have to fight to the death, and the last one wins. And they're like these big monsters that are in the arena, like super giant, weird, creepy, just dream made up. What the heck is my brain thinking of kind of monsters? And so I get dropped off in like the marshland area. And I guess if you like dig places, there were like weapons and stuff that was going to help you with all of the fighting. Again, chemo brain. Bear with me, guys. I just woke up. My brain's not not going at full function here. But so I guess I don't remember what my superpower was, but my sidekicks was camouflage. And so I started digging, and then, you know, that like people would fly by or whatever. And so me and my little sidekick would sit there and camouflage. So then they'd keep flying by. And I kept digging. This happened like 4 or 5 times that people kept trying to go by. And then the monsters started showing up. So same thing, you know, I like hid with my little camouflage dude. And we just like hid in the bushes or whatever in the marshland. My brain said it was a marsh, but it was kind of honestly more of like a forest. Kind of like a rainforest where it was like marshy, like really wet, but there was a bunch of like ferns and tall trees and stuff. So I don't really know. But anyways, so a big monster, like the monsters start flying by and same thing, I keep hiding. But then there's this one that I guess does like echolocation. So he doesn't like see things. He can like echolocate, I guess is the word. And so he finds my little sidekick, and so then he like turns towards us, and like we do the camouflage thing again, but he's like crashing through all the trees and like trying to find us. And he wasn't flying. I kind of attribute it to like swimming in the air, because you know those like big ancient, like kind of like the fossils where they're just like segmented bodies and they're all creepy and they kind of do this. So it's doing that through the air. So he wasn't really flying. He was kind of more like swimming. But so he's huge, like the biggest thing you could think of, like a school bus. And he's like flying through or swimming through the air and starts crashing all these plants and stuff around me and my little sidekick. But we're hiding. But he, like I said, he uses echolocation, so he doesn't need to see us. And eventually he's like, he gets super like low to the ground and like skids us. And so we like fall off and go like deeper into the forest or whatever. And I think eventually this monster ends up like swimming away and disappearing. And we're like, oh yeah, cool, awesome, we missed him. And then we decide to leave the marsh area that we were, because I guess I couldn't find anything. Oh. And I guess we end up like at the docks where there's, it goes into the ocean. But it was still pretty foresty and like there were a bunch of ferns and stuff around. And so I'm like at the docks and like looking under the docks, and I guess there were these like orbs that if you like popped them, then there was like basically like this golden thing. Like, you know those movies when you get abducted by aliens and there's like that beam is the word I'm looking for, like a beam. So basically if they pop this orb, then a golden beam went down on the person or whatever, and you couldn't get out of it. So there are people on the outside that would pop these things and it would just like beam these people, and you wouldn't be able to fight and you wouldn't be able to do anything inside. And so it wasn't another player, but it was like it was a little monster, kind of looked like a gremlin. And so the gremlin popped this little orb and the beam came down on me and I couldn't do anything. And my little sidekick was like freaking out and trying to get me out. And that was the end of my dream. So kind of crazy Hunger Games type dream. So